first of all, he's royalty where I live because he went to LaSalle High School, where he was kicking 60-yard field goals as a high school kid. Like those of you watch, that's like NFL like stuff. He went on to be a UCLA Bruin, studied poli-sci and history, and I'll tell you that after that he went to the Seattle Seahawks for a time, and then the lion's share of his career was with the Vikings, 8 seasons, where he set 8 records in 8 seasons. But what he also did before going to the Raiders is have a lot of conflict with the management of the Vikings over LGBT issues, because this is a super rock star ally. A lot of you probably have seen the video of Chris speaking at Huntington Beach City Council and then getting arrested in an act of civil disobedience. And that wasn't the first time he'd spoken out on progressive issues, especially LGBTQ issues, in Huntington Beach, where he's a resident. And he recently got fired as a football coach at Huntington Beach High School for being outspoken on LGBTQ issues. But I will also tell you, he's traveling all over the place. And we saw him at Lisa Yale, where he came to support the mayor in that city and attempt to keep them from tearing down the pride flag. He is a super rock star ally. He is running for the 72nd Assembly District seat. It's an open seat. It's a tremendous pickup opportunity for us, as is Sergio's race, and we'll be talking about Sergio in a minute. But it's an open seat that we've never been able to really compete in. And now with Chris, we think we really got to fight the shot. Chris?
Hi everyone, I'm Chris. Yes, as the introduction said, I grew up in Seal Beach, so I'm from Orange County. Went to LaSalle, then went to UCLA, and then when I was with the Vikings, started speaking out for LGBTQ rights because I'm, as a straight white man, I have been born with the world on easy mode, right? Like it is very easy for me. But the thing is that I'm not truly free unless everyone else is free, which means I got to fight for other people. Because if I'm ever in trouble and I want someone to fight for me, I want them to fight for me. But in turn, I have to fight for them if I'm in a position of power to do so. And I feel like, unfortunately, a lot of our politicians have not been thinking that way, particularly recently. Like and I said this at the state Democratic convention because they asked me to speak there. I said, we need to be ready to fight for things, not because they are popular, but because they're the right thing to do, which means saying stuff like trans rights are human rights. And we have to say that with our chest. So like these are things where I think the Democratic Party has kind of lost their way. Like we've seen it. We've seen it with the corporate influence. We've seen it with billionaire influence. It's all about, how much money can you raise? And then they're scared about upsetting their donors. And so they're like, oh, how did that poll? I don't give a fuck how it polled. What was the right thing to do, right? Like you're supposed to be a leader. A politician is supposed to help lead people. You get feedback, you listen to your constituents, but at the same time, you are also there to lead and to show the way forward and to do the right thing. So that's what I would like to do in District 72. It's going to be an uphill struggle because it includes Huntington Beach and Newport Beach, which are pretty red cities. But at the same time, I know there are a lot of people there who are small c conservative or independent, no party preference, that really they just want to be left alone, right? Like they don't want to have to think about their government and then they just want it to work. And again, that's a very privileged position, right? That's how I was growing up. I didn't have to think about government because it didn't really affect me as a straight white man. But now I understand, we need to make sure that everyone doesn't have to think about their government, that it's not discriminating against people based on their race or their gender identity or their sexual orientation. Government is supposed to serve everyone, even the people that don't vote for you. So that is my goal. That's why I am running for assembly. And also I'm running for assembly because my likely opponent, Gracie Vandermark, is just batshit crazy. She is full on MAGA. She's been behind all the attacks on our public library in Huntington Beach. Her very first move was to try to get rid of LGBTQ books from the children's section. Like she is a hardcore believer. And she is also a Holocaust denier. She has hung out with known white supremacists. Like she is bad news. And I don't think we as a society can afford having more people like that in positions of power. So I'm running for this race to win it. And I know it's going to be a struggle, but I'm going to approach it the same way I approach football. I'm going to give you everything that I have. And at the end of the day, if it wasn't enough, well, I gave everything I have. But I'm hoping it will be enough because I have to think that this country does want democracy. And right now we are in scary times, but I think there are a lot of people, as we've seen with the No Kings rallies, right? People want democracy. They say this is what America should be, and a democracy includes everyone, not just single groups. So I'd rather do Q&A. So if anyone has any questions, by all means, please ask me questions. Don't be shy to be the first one either. The first one's always the toughest. Yeah.
Where exactly is your district?
Good question. So District 72 is Seal Beach, Huntington Beach, Newport Beach, Laguna Beach, up into Laguna Hills, Laguna Woods, Aliso Viejo, and Lake Forest. So it's kind of that coastal area up into next to Crystal Cove State Park. So, I should probably also talk about like what I would actually do, like, right? That would probably be good. 3 big things I want to focus on. Affordability. Affordability is the main one because, I mean, obviously the cost of living has gotten out of hand, but it's also just the cost of groceries. Like I do the grocery shopping for my family. I've seen the grocery bill rise. It's almost doubled over the last year and a half. We can't say that the stock market is doing well, so that means everyone is doing well. No, like 90% of people don't own stocks. Like, great, stock market's doing well, but you can't afford to live somewhere. You can't afford to buy food. You can't afford to pay for your electrical bills or your water bills. So we really have to get affordability under control. And that means building more houses and taxing the rich people. Like, and I'm a somewhat rich person. I'm okay with paying taxes. Like, I like having services. I like having my roads paved. Like, I like having things that work. Like, I also believe you can have enough, right? Like, there is a certain point you can have enough. And if you are never going to be satisfied, well, guess what? That's hoarding. And if someone just collected cats or newspapers in their house, we would say, you have a problem. We should probably get you some help. Yet somehow when it comes to money, we're like, oh, no, just keep taking all the money. That's fine. Like, no, that's not okay. Like, you can have enough. So yeah, affordability is my first one. Mitigating the effects of climate change, second big one, because obviously we're not doing a great job solving climate change, although we definitely still need to be doing that. Now we have to start talking about how do we mitigate the effects of climate change, particularly for District 72. That's 4 coastal communities, 4 communities that are right next to Crystal Cove State Park, which is a massive fire risk. So we need to be talking about that. We need to have emergency plans in place. We need to be talking about what our housing looks like in terms of building housing. Are we building right up to that wilderness border? Because that's probably not going to end well. So maybe higher density, leave more of a barrier, so that way if fires do break out, we don't get what happens in LA, right? We need to save our beaches for the coastal communities. Like the water doesn't care if you believe in climate change or not, it's just going to keep rising. And if you really want to know if climate change is real or not, attend an insurance company convention because the insurance companies absolutely believe climate change is real, and that's something we're going to have to deal with. It's becoming impossible to insure houses in certain areas in California. That's just going to get worse as things get worse. So we really need to be talking about that. And then the third one, regulating AI. Right now, AI is a huge issue, and it's not it's not just the fact that it's putting people out of work, both in the public sector and the private sector. It's the fact that these are programs that have legitimately driven kids to suicide. They're driving people to psychosis. They don't work half the time. Like if something is going to recommend that I eat a yard mushroom, I'm sorry, your product is not okay. Like that's not something we should be putting in children's hands. It's not something we should be putting in adults' hands. And frankly, the AI industry right now is in a massive bubble. The mainstream media is finally starting to kind of catch on to that, but OpenAI has about $1.2 trillion in debt. And their operating revenue per year is about $10 billion. So I really don't know how they're going to square that circle, but when that bubble collapses, they're going to be looking for a bailout. That's why they're trying to push AI into so many public spaces and government spaces, because they know the house of cards is going to come crumbling down. They want that bailout, same that the banks got, same that the realtors got. So yeah, those are my 3 big ones in terms of things that I want to focus on. Other questions?
So anyway, do you have any immediate family that are LGBTQ community?
Yes, I do actually. So my children both identify in the LGBTQ community, and then my wife's brother is gay. And he married his partner, Jonathan, back. They actually got married in New Zealand because they had to get married before same-sex marriage was legal here in the United States. So yeah, so it also does affect me on a personal level, but I've been speaking out on this stuff like even before my kids were born. So it's not like I'm doing this because, I need to protect my kids. No, I'm actually protecting myself because if I speak out for the smallest group, right, that means eventually if it comes to me, someone will be there to speak out for me, right? I'm sure everyone's heard the poem, first they came for. I actually read the damn thing, kind of internalized what that meant. So yeah, no, for me, human rights are very, very important because as a history major, every single society that collapses, it's due to either internal strife or external strife. And so we have to figure out, okay, where's that internal strife coming from? And if we're not letting people be who they are, that's a source of internal strife. Eventually, that's going to cause conflict, it's going to cause friction, and we're going to deal with it in one way or another. So I would rather avoid the mistakes of the past and just let people be who they are. All right, well, I think I've probably taken my 10 minutes, so thank you, everyone. I really appreciate it. Feel free to come up, talk to me. More than happy. And yes, thank you for having me.